In January 2024, Jill had said that she could not remember the last time she saw her parents in person. Jill Duggar and her estranged father, Jim Bob Duggar, appeared to spend some rare time together during the Christmas season. In an Instagram carousel shared by brother James Duggar on Christmas Day, Jill, 33, and husband Derek, 35, are seen chatting with the Duggar patriarch, 59, on a brown couch as fellow family members opened gifts. The best time of the year. James captioned the festive post, which also included snaps of Jessica Duggar and husband Ben Seawold, John Duggar, and wife Abby's son Charlie, Jason Duggar, and Jeremiah Duggar. Over the years, Jill, one of Jim Bob and Michelle's 19 children, has been open about her disdain for her upbringing and her parents' involvement in the religious organization Institute in Basic Life Principles. The reality TV alum told PUPLE in an exclusive interview timed to the September 2023 release of her book Counting the Cost that she considers the organization, founded by Minister Bill Gothard, to be a cult. "My dad even said somewhat recently on a family group text, he was like, 'You owe your life to Mr. Gothard,'" she told People. "I'm like, no. I think that you just have to not look at the cigar coating, or whatever. They try and gloss it up and repackage it, but you have to look at the long haul, how it really flushed out. What do these principles look like?" Jill also shared that filming her family's reality shows, 19 Kids and Counting, and its spin-off Counting On, took a toll on her relationship with Derek as she struggled to say no to her father and the filming demands. "It definitely got between us," she said of how she and Derek began fighting over the show. "No matter your age, you are to obey your parents' wishes, and you even have to ask them for their blessing for any major moment in your life. That could be buying a house, moving to a different state, where to go to school. We were dealing with this a lot when we were trying to make decisions for our family, and we were really wrestling back and forth with it." Derek added that Jim Bob would weaponize the relationship and say, "Is this you, Jill, or is this you, Derek? Are you leading your wife astray and doing things that are not supportive of marriage?" Jill and Derek got married in 2014 and share 3 children, Israel David, Samuel Scott, and Frederick Michael. In January 2024, Jill said on the Unplanned podcast that she couldn't remember the last time she saw her parents, although they have spoken since the release of her 2023 tell-all book. When asked if they've read it, she said, "I've heard that they did. They, listened to it on an audiobook or something. They're my parents. I'm gonna tread lightly. I also don't want to create more controversy," she added. "It's kind of like when you get together on the holidays, and there are certain things that you don't want to just bring up. It's probably a sore subject." Jill and Derek tried to remember when they last saw Jim Bob and Michelle in person. The daughter insisted that it was sometime after the birth of their youngest son in July 2022. "We saw them at a birthday party. Joy and Austin's one of their kids' birthday thing or something. Or a baby announcement or something, I don't know, some kind of family function." Jana Duggar is getting a lot of attention after uploading the second part of her wedding video. The second part of the vlog featured an inside look at the ceremony. Some fans were surprised by some of the activities they did, including the guests who attended. But what caught the attention of many was how weird Jana's parents were during her big day, making some fans think something was going on between them. Jana recently uploaded a 24-minute vlog featuring her nuptials with Stephen Wisseman. The two finally kissed as husband and wife. The guests celebrated for the newlyweds. Moments later, Jana shared a glimpse from the ceremony. Many Counting On fans were shocked that some family members danced, which was against their conservative beliefs. Jana's maid of honor, Jessa, also sent her a heartwarming message. but some Redditors were confused about Jim Bob and Michelle's unusual behavior throughout the ceremony. Some Counting On fans on Reddit discussed Jim Bob and Michelle's weird behavior during Jana's wedding. According to the poster, they noticed some hesitations from their interactions, especially Michelle, who was even spotted avoiding fully hugging her daughter. Jim Bob also had an awkward conversation with his daughter before walking her down the aisle. The OP believes Jim Bob and Michelle don't like how the primary guardian of their younger kids will leave the house. The Reddit user then speculates that Jana's newfound freedom will finally give her the opportunity to step out of Jim Bob's line and expose them in a tell-all book, just like what Jill Duggar did. Others agreed and said Jana is the only child who most likely knows every dark secret of the family. If anyone has tea, it's her. Jana owns the teapot itself. Jana has had an opportunity not afforded her sisters. She's had an extra 10+ years to become more worldly as a single woman, and it shows. Jana Duggar is close to her sister Jill, despite her estrangement from the family. Jill previously revealed that things are getting better between her and her parents. However, the Counting On alum surprised many viewers during Jana's wedding vlog after she was spotted sitting far from the family during the ceremony. In another Reddit thread, the OP revealed that Jill sat 6 rows behind Jim Bob and Michelle during the nuptials. It's no secret that the Duggars have a lot of kids. After all, the television show that kick-started their fame was called 17 Kids and Counting, which later turned into 19 Kids and Counting, and then its spin-off series, Counting On. Through all the shows, the famous family has continued to grow, and now it's getting a bit harder to keep track of which Duggar's kids have children of their own now. Although it might seem like the Duggar family is growing by the minute, between all of the courtships, engagements, weddings, and pregnancy news, there are actually only 10 Duggar grandchildren at the moment. For the average American family, that might seem like a lot of grandbabies to keep track of, but considering that Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar have 19 children, 10 grandchildren seems somewhat manageable. That number is likely to grow, since many of the married Duggar kids have voiced their desire to have large families with multiple children, and given that the Duggars don't use birth control due to their conservative religious beliefs and Jim Bob and Michelle's personal experience with contraception, it's more than likely that more grandchildren will be joining the famous family as more Duggars kids tie the knot. But which Duggars already have kids? Here's who has families of their own right now. One of the older Duggar children, 30-year-old Josh and his wife, Anna, share 5 children together, and it's clear that the couple followed the older generation's tradition of naming their children names that all start with the first letter. There's 7-year-old Mackenzie, 6-year-old Michael, 4-year-old Marcus, 2-year-old Meredith, and 6-month-old Mason. Although Josh is the only Duggar son with kids right now, that's all about to change as 23-year-old Joseph and his wife Kendra are expecting their first child together. So, when their little one is born, Kendra's due date is sometime in June 2018, the Duggar family will have expanded to 11 grandchildren. But when it comes to the Duggar daughters, there are even more children. Jill Duggar and her husband Derek Dillard also have a pretty good-sized little family of their own. The 26-year-old shares 2 children with her husband, 2-year-old Israel, and 8-month-old Samuel. It's unclear whether or not the young couple is planning on having any other children in the future. Then there's Jessa Duggar. The 25-year-old and her husband, Ben Seawald, also share 2 sons together, 2-year-old Spurgeon and 1-year-old Henry. Despite rumors swirling earlier this month about another baby on the way for them, Jessa is not pregnant with baby number 3, as E! News reported. There's 20-year-old Jana Duggar and her husband, Austin Forsyth, who recently welcomed a baby boy, Gideon, about a month ago. and fans are convinced he takes after his dad. Now that Josiah Duggar is engaged to Lauren Swanson, that number could change in the near future. Guess there's always something to be counting on, right? Josiah Duggar, 21, and Lauren Swanson, 18, announced that they were courting in January. The Duggar family is expanding once again. Josiah Duggar and Lauren Swanson are engaged. This Weekly announced the news, and the happy couple confirmed it on the family website. "We are so excited to announce that Josiah and Lauren are officially engaged," reads the statement. "We have prayed for many years that the Lord would bring the right spouses to each of our children. We have known Lauren and her family for a very long time, and have seen how she has grown in her knowledge and understanding of the Lord. She is a wonderful, caring, compassionate young lady, full of zeal for Christ. We are very thankful for her. We pray that their lives together will be full of joy and happiness, and that God will use their lives for His service. We are looking forward to another Duggar wedding soon." Duggar, 21, and Swanson, 18, announced that they were courting in January. "We are overjoyed to begin this new phase of our lives together," the Counting On star told People at the time. "Through the years, our family's friendship has allowed us to get to know one another as friends. I can definitely say I have found a great friend, even better than I could have hoped for or imagined. I so appreciate Lauren's Christ-like character and tender heart toward others. She brings sunshine into the room and encourages everyone around her. It's always stood out to me that in every situation, she looks for the one who appears to be sad or lonely and quickly can brighten their day by sharing words of hope, an encouraging scripture, a prayer, or even a simple smile with them." The Duggars follow strict rules on dating and marriage. During the courtship period, possible mates spend time together with family members there to supervise, never alone, and only side hugs are allowed. When they're engaged, they can hold hands, and they share their first kiss at their wedding. The Duggar family is arguably America's most conservative reality TV family, but do any of the Duggars have Snapchat accounts? Finding any Duggar family Snapchat accounts would be a Herculean task, because the family has some pretty strict rules for social media. Most celebrities in America have some sort of social media presence, allowing their fans to take a sneak peek at their behind-the-scenes lives. But the Duggars do things differently. Let's not forget, this is the family of more than 30 people who, among other things, save first kisses for marriage. So Patriarch Jim Bob Duggar and Matriarch Michelle Duggar implement certain controversial social media and dating rules for their 19 children, who have all been raised with strong conservative Christian values. Needless to say, those rules would be viewed as too extreme for any millennial who can't imagine their lives without browsing their Instagram feed first thing in the morning, experimenting with Snapchat filters, and tweeting out their complaints about Uber or McDonald's at 4 a.m. after a drunken night. For many, it wouldn't make sense why Josh Duggar, Jill Duggar, Jessa Duggar, Jinger Duggar, and the rest of the Duggar family don't have celebrity Snapchat accounts. But in order to understand why most of the Duggar siblings aren't even online, it's essential to remember that the Duggars have quite a few infamous and super old-fashioned rules, which mostly have to do with dating and modesty. In particular, the Duggar children are not allowed to have a social media account, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, or others, before they are engaged or married. And even when they do tie the knot or put a ring on it, that doesn't mean that they all rush to sign up on social media. Some do, others don't. And then there are the rebels within the Duggar family who break their family's rules. RadarOnline.com investigates which Duggars are on the social media radar online.com, which are breaking the family's anti-social media rule, all while delving into reasons why the Duggars aren't permitted to be on Snapchat. The Duggar family has a strict set of rules for pretty much every aspect of their lives, including the use of social media. Considering the family's faith-based beliefs regarding dating and modesty, it wouldn't come as a surprise that the Duggars are only allowed to be on Snapchat and other social media platforms under certain conditions. While these rules might seem too extreme to many, take into account that the Duggar family doesn't allow the female siblings to wear pants. However, some Duggar sisters have challenged that rule on several occasions. Some were emboldened by their marriage and engagement. Other than that, Patriarch Jim Bob Duggar and his wife Michelle Duggar encouraged their children to stay away from dating and instead enter into courtships. The practice of courting someone refers to two individuals getting to know each other in a group setting, usually involving their families, to form an emotional bond and romantic connection. Not every Duggar has abided perfectly by the family's rules. For example, Jana Duggar couldn't keep her hands off her new husband Austin Forsyth in 2017. The Duggar sibling was blasted by the family's most conservative fans for giving her then-fiancé Forsyth a full hug instead of a side huge when accepting his marriage proposal. Now that we have established that not having a Snapchat account is totally par for the course in the land of Duggars, are all of the Duggars actually ok with their family's strict no social media rule? It turns out, the Duggars have mixed opinions about the controversial rule that prevents them from having an Instagram and Snapchat account. There are some who break the rule, while others agree that steering clear of social media is the right thing to do. According to a 2014 report by E! News, Jessa and Jill Duggar were totally comfortable with their parents chaperoning their dates, explaining that being alone with men puts them in grave moral danger, whatever that means. In their 2014 book about relationships called Growing Up Duggar, the oldest Duggar girls, Jill, Jana, Jessa, and Jinger, explained why it's a good idea to stay away from Snapchat, Instagram, and other social media platforms. Personally, we are very careful not to text, email, or communicate over the internet with guys on a personal, intimate level, the girls wrote. Instead, it is wise to keep these interactions businesslike. Unlike many celebrities and even some politicians, the Duggars take their social media presence very seriously. That's why the Duggar family is so strict about their siblings not having social media accounts before engagement or marriage. Interestingly, most of the family's relationship and modesty rules are directed toward the girls, which isn't surprising that it's their male sibling who is violating the family's no social media rule. Find out who that rebel is below. Despite the family's very limited social media presence, even those Duggars who do have accounts don't really post all that often. The Duggar family has been embroiled in quite a few scandals over the years. In 2014, the Duggar family sparked controversy when its official Facebook account shared a snap of then 16-year-old Jana Duggar holding a shotgun. Social media fans and critics blasted the family for the photo, reminding the conservative family that guns are meant to kill. As of the time of publication, only Josh, Jill, Jessa, Jinger, Joseph, Josiah, and Jana were eligible to have a Snapchat account or any other social media account because they are either engaged or married. Needless to say, many of them forego online presence anyway. Some, however, do have social media accounts, which they either manage on their own or share with their significant others. Josiah is currently in the list of the social media eligible Duggar siblings. He earned the status in March 2018 when he proposed to his girlfriend of 1 month, Lauren Swanson. But here's the thing, it was the first time Josiah Duggar had proposed to anyone, yet he started his Instagram account back in April 2015. Meaning, Josiah broke his family's strict no social media before engagement rule. But Radar Online.com may have a legitimate explanation why Josiah had an Instagram account for nearly 2 years when he was clearly not eligible to have one. Josiah signed up on Instagram in April 2015. The same month, he officially started courting his then-girlfriend Marjorie Jackson. Perhaps Josiah was ahead of himself and thought getting engaged to Jackson would be his next step, so he started his Instagram page when his romance with Jackson got the status of courtship, something that the Duggars recognize as being engaged to get engaged. But wait, there's more. It gets even more confusing, as Josiah's sibling, Jana Duggar, waited until she got married to Jeremy Volo to sign up on Instagram. Jana Duggar started her Instagram page and shared her first post on the social media platform in May 2014, nearly 3 months before her engagement to Ben Seawald was announced, though things had gotten pretty serious between the two at that point, and their engagement was just a matter of time. It was rumored in 2016 that Jana might have her own Snapchat account, which would make her the only Duggar to have an account on the multimedia messaging app. The account has never been verified, and the Duggar family has never confirmed that it was actually Jana's account. If you search the Duggars on Snapchat, you will notice that quite a few of the Duggar siblings pop up, but not a single one of them has been either verified or confirmed, meaning those are fake accounts ran by someone who is probably not even remotely close to the family. One wouldn't expect a family so modest and conservative as the Duggars to have presence on Snapchat, so the family stays away from the social media platform. However, some members of the ever-growing clan do have social media presence on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.